right, if loving you is wrong fans. Now, I did get a lot of positive feedback when I made this suggestion. I'm like, hey, I did that video, that in-depth who is Derek David video right after the season finale, Out of Time for the Haves and the Have-Nots, when he revealed his lion tattoo, which I predicted for over the course of a year. The video did extremely well, hit over 100,000 hits. The video took over 3 hours of work, and I posted the option is like, hey, do you want me to do a video like that for Alex Montgomery? And a lot of people wanted me to do it. Like, and I'm very, very pleased to get that kind of feedback. But let me just say a few things up front. Number one, you all know that the Haves and the Have-Nots is the bread and butter of the channel. I am versed in if loving you is wrong, but not to the level that I am with the Haves and the Have-Nots. So in this particular video, and even going back to the Derek David video, what I did was I pretty much went over everything there is to know about Derek, put that in combination to what led up to the lion tattoo reveal and what might happen after the fact. The difference with Alex though in this video is I'm going to go over the basics of who Alex is as a character, her relatives, friends, some of her relationships with other people, not just romantic ones, if you want to even call them that, let's just say affairs. And then, you know, character traits of Alex herself. What I don't want is for this to turn into another Who is the Baby Daddy video. This is more of a character introspective, I guess is the best way to put it, a character analysis. So once again, the title of the video is like, who is Alex last name? So it's going to be an in-depth video of this. And it is an interesting thing to talk about because unlike Derek, we know he is Derek. The question is, what did he do in his past leading to the man he is today? With Alex is, who is Alex, but who is Jennifer? Who is Pepper? I'm going to do the best I can with this. So if there are some things I missed, like, well, Jeremy, there was a sibling that you didn't mention, or Jeremy, there was a job that she had or something, then just forgive me. Just let me know in the comments. But this is going to be my personal analysis. And for this video, I will not be biased. I am not going to be talking about how she's my boo and everything. No, 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 no. This is like a serious character introspective, and we're going to go from there. But real quick, before we get into a video about my boo, I will say I got to give a shout out to WVVA News in West Virginia because they had a a photo caption contest yesterday morning that I was scrolling on Facebook. I just put in a caption and you know, I just went about my day, and then a friend of mine who used to go to Liberty and lived in Lynchburg, who is now in West Virginia, who works at this news station, hit me up last night. It's like, hey, you entered this contest? I'm like, wait, what? So I actually ended up on the news, well, technically my caption. So just a 40-second clip. I'm excited about it. I had to share, and we'll come right back.
We did have a caption in this contest. We read through them all. Our winner is Jeremy Carden, and Jeremy wrote, when that one friend spoils in-game for everyone in the room, and Jill Croce would totally do that.
I totally would, but full disclosure, I haven't seen Endgame.
I had it ruined for me. I had it ruined for me, and that was my face. So that was spot on.
Yeah.
I feel like Irvin and Tarina upstairs would appreciate that one.
Yeah, I think all Marvel fans would.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, you know, for me, that made my day right there. You know, I mean, earlier this year, got the opportunity to speak at a middle school about YouTubing for full time. Then I got to be featured in a newspaper in my hometown. Then dang it, I make it on TV for a meme caption. Now, if only I can get the same promotion for this YouTube channel, then I'll be straight. So I am definitely feeling blessed and a good start to the weekend. But for this video, guys, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is the Haves and the Have-Nots review. What I do on this channel is simply review Tyler Perry shows. I pretty much talk about the episodes, the trailers we get, theory, discussion, and sometimes live stream. But just know, as a full-time YouTuber, I am under the strict rules of copyright. So if you're looking for a channel to watch full episodes on, this is not where to do it. At the most, I might play a couple of clips that adhere to the copyright guidelines, which is usually 30 seconds or less. So once again, this channel is all about reviews, hence why the channel has review in the title. And if you want to see full episodes, then you go to Hulu, but I don't think they have the most up-to-date episodes. You probably need to do the Watch Own app for that. So once again, review channel, that's pretty much it. But hit that subscribe button, trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. Maybe I'll be in the newspaper or TV for that. We'll have to wait and see. But I guess where to get started with Alex. I was looking over some basic articles and breakdowns for If Loving You Is Wrong. I spent about 30 minutes this morning going through, you know, not just Wikipedia, but If Loving You Is Wrong wikis and old articles from when the show was first announced, and kind of like on the haves and have-nots where Jim and Candace started the whole thing, because there are plenty of main characters, but at the core those two are the stars of the show. I'm really referring to like the first couple seasons, so I'm talking about before Veronica Harrington took the crown that was Candace's the bad bitch of the haves and the have-nots. And so I'm actually flipping through my notebook right now. If Loving You Is Wrong really kicked off with Alex and Randall. I think that doesn't need to be argued, because the very first scene of the show is like a, you know, a aerial view of the neighborhood, kids getting on the school bus, people getting in their vehicles to go to work, and then we go to the iconic shed, and Alex and Randall are going to town, and it's like, well, damn. I mean, right off the bat, it's like, well, this is kind of different from the haves and the have-nots, because in the haves and the have-nots, the first scene, if memory serves, was, the first scene I think was Hannah's interview with Catherine for the job as the maid, and then right after that, that's when Jim and Candace or was the first scene Jim on the phone with Catherine telling him to be home for the birthday party that night? Then he opens the door and Candace is there, then she takes off her trench coat, and then they have sex off screen. I forgot. Guys, it's been a while. But for If Loving You Is Wrong, it was done that they literally went right to the effing. So that was pretty interesting. But let's just go over the basics of Alex's character. Now, we know that she has her father, Rusty, and her mother, Virginia. And I was actually, aside from reading old articles, I went on YouTube and I watched Owned YouTube channel, watching just clips of Alex, because I was trying to get a feel for her character over the course of the show. And I was watching a few clips, and the first one I watched was the one about, you know, when Alex got her dad to kidnap Randall, then he was tied, and pretty much, you know, he was going to force her to shoot him. And this is not really going into the whole Alex craziness thing, but I don't know if this really solidifies it, but Rusty said something very interesting in the clip, and I want to play it right now.
You do have some of me in you. Now go on, kill him. Go on.
Rusty, don't you trust her?
Kill him.
Alex.
Do it.
Alex.
Don't you trust her?
Do it.
She's lying.
Look at me.
She won't do it.
Look at me.
Always been soft-hearted like your mama.
I mean, he literally said that you have some of me, but then you're also in you, and then you have your mother's soft-heartedness as well. So, I mean, does that confirm that they're her parents and there aren't any, oh no, the mother stepped out, and that's why, you know, she's half black and that way the baby's black? We don't really know for sure. So I'm just going to say that for simplicity's sake, yeah, they're her parents. That's pretty much it. Yeah. So aside from that, you know, her cousin is Eddie, who has a father, obviously, and that would make him Alex's uncle. Have we ever heard about Eddie's mother? I don't believe so. And then with allegedly, Peter and Paisley are her kids by Brad, and we do know Brad is, as of the finale of last season or last week, Jennifer is now her ex-husband. I mean, she did sign the divorce papers, but they haven't been filed yet, so I guess you could say they're still technically married until the papers are filed. So yeah, whatever you want to label it as. And she has the job of being a housewife, which isn't bad. And when I say housewife, I'm not saying that in a degrading term whatsoever. I think that's a very important job. So she is a housewife, which explains how she has all those free time on her hands. And I guess you could say aside from Alex, I guess it's the best way to break it down. When it comes to her known affairs, when it comes to Randall, she was Peppa. But then when it came to Ian, she was Jennifer Peppa. So I guess you could say for Ian is like, my full name is Jennifer Pepper. But for Randall, it's Jennifer Pepper, but Peppa if you're nasty. So I guess you could say that she has different aliases for her lovers, but I do think that it would have been smarter to have different code names and not also having Pepper on your license plate. So, and also, you know, Peppa as in, oh, I'm white like salt, but my code name is Pepper, which is black like black people who I like black men. I never thought of that. That's interesting. But so basically, you know, she's a housewife, been having affairs behind her husband's back, most likely, obviously, when her kids are at school. There have been times where it's been mentioned she's been brought to hotels and out of town by people, and she's met other men along the way. So she's pretty much, and this is me, and I know this is difficult because at least with Derek, he was a guy, so it was easier to kind of put myself in his shoes. Not comfortable shoes because of the whole raping history and whatnot and whatever else he did in his past. With Alex, you know, I am not a woman, obviously, so some of my perspectives might seem a bit blurry. So I do know that this channel has a 84 to 16%, 84% female audience and then about 16% male. So obviously to the majority of the viewers and listeners out there, you can add your insight. But if there are any, and I am not trying to single anyone out. If you are a stay-at-home mom, you know, and your husband is working, you're with the kids and everything, what exactly do you do after, you know, the cleaning is done and the house is in order, you know, the kids are at school, grocery shopping's done and whatnot? What do you do? Like, you know, I feel like this is the part of the video where we really start to break down Alex's personality, you know. And no, I'm not really trying to say she has alternate, like split personalities or evil twin sister and that's the one that screwed in. That's not what I'm saying. I'm trying to play a Randall, if you will, psychiatrist or therapist, dive into the inner psyche of what makes Alex, but then also what makes Alex Pepper and then Jennifer Pepper. I think when it comes down to it, it was a sense of curiosity and boredom. I mean, when you think about it, we don't know how long she's had this online persona. I know when Ian pulled up the phone, it said Jennifer Pepper 30. I mean, that doesn't mean she was lying about her age. That doesn't mean that the file was, you know, 3 years old. I think that some sources say that Alex is like in her 30s on the show. It doesn't give an exact age, but I'm just going to spitball here and say that she's like 32, 33. I am just speculating here. So Ian suspecting that he is the father obviously means that he and Alex have most likely had sex pre-episode 1. So before the first episode, which I believe was called A Twisted Affair. So for all we know, Ian and Alex were screwing around before she was screwing around with Randall. But then if you go back to the episode The Painter, then I do believe that did set a timeline. But then if you go to the episode after game night, when Alex goes to the shed, the night she got jealous over Randall showing a lot of PDA to Marcy right across the couch, then she said that if somebody would have told me blank months ago that I would have fallen in love with you, I would have said they were crazy. Well, then again, Alex and Randall could have been screwing around before love actually came into the equation. So yeah, I think that when it comes down to, and this is just me speculating, I think that Alex really liked the convenience factor of Randall being next door, as opposed to her having to have an online persona and meet up at various locations. I'm not saying that her and Randall didn't do that, obviously, because I think that was actually mentioned in the show before. But I do feel when it comes to Alex, it's like the grass is always greener, but she wanted to go to the part of the field that had darker grass, if you will, because if you look at her childhood growing up with the parents that she had, it seems pretty dang obvious that she was instilled with a racist personality. I'm not saying she was racist. I'm just saying that her parents tried to ingrain that in her, and stepping out of the bounds of, you know, people like them, that was like you're betraying the trust of the family. I mean, I think that Alex probably did things like that when she was younger without her parents even knowing. For all we know, she probably met up with some black guys in her teen years, for all we know. Once again, just speculating here, just trying to fill in the blanks. Or she's just been highly restricted her entire life, which I don't think was an impossible thing. And I'm not really trying to go into the whole, oh, was she sexually abused as a child? I would say she was most likely guaranteed mentally abused by being berated and belittled by her parents, especially if she wasn't like them in regards to having a bigoted way of looking at things, or if you want to say, I don't want to say KKK, but at the same time, just a white supremacist personality. I think it's the best way and most politically correct way of saying that. But she seemed to be a person who just seemed to get along with everyone. So I could definitely tell that she just never had a taste of the Hershey bar, you know? And once she got a taste, she just didn't stop at a Hershey Kiss. She decided to go work her way up to a Hershey bar, then the king size, then the whole, don't they make like those giant Hershey bars now? It's like, you know what? It's almost like the Lay's potato chips. I bet you can't eat just one. So she decided to try out the different flavors. You know, Randall is the Hershey bar. Ian is like the white chocolate caramel, if you will. And then who knows? I still think there are untold Peppa Tales out there, or Jennifer Tales out there, where she's had different personas on different dating websites. For all we know, there might come a Drake complexion guy on the show and it's like, hey, Tasha, I'm just speculating here. There's no telling where Tyler Perry is going to go with this plot in regards to all the different men that Alex has slept with. And the thing is, I think we get to the most interesting part of her character, which a lot of people criticize her for good reason. Her being a liar. The fact that she can just tell a lie like it's nothing really does support the fact and the theory that maybe as she was growing up, she lied a lot to her parents because she hooked up with black guys. She hung out with people who weren't white. And I think that she probably lied over and over again. And, you know, who knows where Eddie's crazy ass was. I mean, we do know he went to war with Brad. That's why he has the mental condition he does now. But I think with Eddie, he pretty much didn't have a problem sticking to the family way of thinking. But when it comes down to it, you know, Alex probably ventured out here and there. And as a result, she had to lie a lot because it doesn't seem like her parents are kind-hearted to the point where she can just be open with them about how she feels about certain things. So I definitely think that the lying was something that isn't new. It's something that she's been doing her entire life. But the difference is, when it came to lying to her parents, she got away with it. But when it came to lying to her husband and friends, that shit hurts because she can't really escape it. It's like, and you've heard this time and time again, when you tell one lie, you got to tell like 25 others to cover up the one lie you told to begin with. But the thing is, not only are these people not your parents, but you're getting other people into trouble and ruining their lives. Like if you go back to earlier in the series, there was the point where people thought Kelly was Pepper and they were shading Kelly. And Alex just stood there knowing what was going on. So she isn't one to avoid throwing people under the bus if it means she's safe or her troubles are gone. So I think one of the most recent examples of this is literally throwing someone in the furnace. When Bennett saved Alex first from the shed, asked if there was anybody else in there. She shook her head no, and Randall was screaming. So Alex is not one to allow people to... she isn't against throwing people under the bus if it means she just gets to walk away from a situation. And I mean, going back to the differences between her and Alex and her and Eddie, once again, I really do feel like Eddie had no issues with the way he was raised by his family and their way of thinking. Alex was definitely the one who was the rebel, if you will. And I think they actually kind of touched upon this during the search for her baby. And then Eddie pulled her over and said she would get shot if she didn't get out of the car. And I think he said something along the lines like he doesn't disagree with Uncle Rusty's way of thinking.
You've caused enough problems, you little whore. You're not gonna stop Uncle Rusty from killing the son of a bitch. Now, nice and slow.
You know that my father has that baby.
Does he? Does he? That's not what you should be worried about right now. What you should worry about is getting your bitch ass out of this car.
No!
Don't make me drag you out.
Don't you dare. You put a hand on me.
You get out of the car.
So right there, I mean, if you combine that way of thinking to the PTSD or whatever nerve bending mental state that he got from coming from war. I mean, honestly, I never really thought about it. If you take that supremacist way of thinking that Eddie has ingrained in him by his family, and then you combine that with going overseas to fight a war with people who look different than you, he probably had no issues, you know, just killing people repeatedly because, well, they were different. They were darker. They weren't his complexion. They did not think the way he did. And then maybe there was like a guilt factor or something like that where he kind of questioned his own identity and then turned to drugs, substance abuse. And do I need to make an Eddie video? Dang, that is, I never thought of that. Wow, I never thought of that. So, okay, let me stop. That actually does make a lot of sense. I never really thought too much about that in regards to Eddie because he's just been such a theatric drama queen, if you will, crazy ass, that you really never think to stop and think, you know, what made him the way he was. Kind of like Veronica. I've done so many in-depth Veronica Harrington videos, but never did the same for Eddie. Now, when it comes to Alex, you know, aside from being a liar and curious, I think the next couple things here is a combination of being unfaithful, dishonest, which is going hand in hand with the liar, and how she treated Brad. Now, I think with Brad, I think he is a good guy, but you know, I think when it comes down to it, Alex's curiosity, maybe, I think the one thing that she probably felt from Brad was unfulfilled. I think that's probably it, unfulfilled. And that's why she ventured out to go out with other men. Or you could just say, aside from her being a thought, a liar, all this other stuff, what if it was a situation where she saw her mother doing the same thing? She saw her father stepping out on her mother. It's not uncommon for children to see certain traits in their parents or parent and then implement that into their own lifestyle. So it is a possibility. I don't know for sure. This video really isn't about that, but it is something to really consider. Brad works a good job, pays the bills, keeps the upkeep of the house financially. Alex upkeeps the house, you know, by being a housewife, taking care of the kids and whatnot. So I think it's just a matter of, you know, the basic lifestyle, the American dream, and that wasn't good enough for her. She wanted to go outside of those bounds. I mean, even marrying Brad, who I think her dad accused of being like a Soviet, Russian, or a spy or whatever, she did that anyway, but that wasn't enough. She wanted to venture into the land of not milk and honey, but chocolate and caramel. So I guess you could say that just being unfaithful really isn't a good reflection on her part for obvious reasons. But aside from that, you know, I think guilt is her next big thing. And I'm just going to play a bit of a clip from an episode. It was one that I think it was her kids found her prom corsage in the attic, and then Brad brought it back to, you know, Alex just to kind of, you know, relive a moment. And she felt so freaking guilty over that. She called Randall wanting to shut their entire affair down. And, you know, Randall pretty much gave a blunt response, and then she started freaking out on him. But then Randall said something very, very, very good that gave us more insight into Alex's character.
Let's end it.
Randall!
I'm tired of this. You have a meltdown every week. And then the next week you're going down on me. So this is the dysfunction that you need to live in. Fine. Let's end it.
You know what? Go to hell. Just because you can lie to your wife and lie to my husband. Just forgive me for having a conscience.
I mean, basically, for somebody named Peppa, she can certainly be hot or cold depending on the situation, where 1 minute, you know, you're coming down on me physically or you're coming down on me emotionally. It's one or the other, where I want to stop, but then I don't want to stop. It's just one of those things where everything is all good until she feels guilty. Then she just wants to shift the blame to everyone else. So I love how she's like, don't call me, don't text me. But I do believe that Alex was the one that called Randall in the first place. So basically, she pulled a Tanya. Well, leave me alone. Don't talk to me more. Well, don't bring your ass to my front steps. So it's just one of those situations. But I feel like, and I don't want to just go on the whole, she's a crazy bitch thing. But I do think that Randall being Randall, able to assess the situation using his skills as a psychiatrist, knows exactly how to push Alex's buttons. So I do feel like when it comes down to it, Randall knew exactly what to say, what to do in order to get Alex to continuously get her to come back to him. So I think that it isn't entirely her fault, but at the same time, you know, Alex, I don't know what to tell you. I don't really know what to say. But I mean, if you go back to the episode The Painter, you really get a look into how this entire thing started when she caught Marcy and Randall having sex in front of the window. And once again, I think curiosity literally killed the cat. I think that is a safe choice of words there. But as time went on, it was just, you know, they hugged each other a little bit too long. And, you know, when they were playing football, she jumped on Randall's back and, you know, rode him to the touchdown line. And things just happened until the point where, you know, I think Brad in that episode even said, hey, you know, I'm glad to know you work from home. And I get worried about Alex when I'm not here, when I'm at work. So could you just keep an eye on her? And it's like, yeah. Little did he know. That's like leaving Tweety Bird with Sylvester the cat. But I do feel when it comes down to it, was Randall the first guy that, number one, was he the first guy that Alex stepped out on Brad with? Do you think Randall is the first black guy she's ever been with? When did Ian come into the picture? A lot of questions we don't know, folks. And I don't really feel like diving into the whole timeline of her cheating scandal. This is more of a in-depth character analysis. I feel like when it comes down to it, Alex is one of those characters who is mischievous. Wait, no, that's a Pokemon. Mischievous. I forgot how to say the name. I know it's a ghost Pokemon, mischievous. She's deceitful. She's a liar. She's curious. She's guilty. She hates feeling guilty. She doesn't love when people call her out on her shit, but she isn't one to, you know, not call somebody else out on theirs. Damn. Alex is something else, man. She's something else. It's just one of those situations where you have someone where this season, I think Amanda Clayton pretty much summed it up well when it came to defining Alex's character in terms of her being tired. It's like all the lies she's ever told, everything is coming back on her, and she doesn't feel like fighting anymore. She just wants it all to be at peace. And I think she mentioned this in an interview briefly before the show came back on in March.
Catch us up. What's going to happen going forward with their relationship, with your relationship, and all this mess?
Alex is reaching a point where she's exhausted with the entire thing. She just wants to be at peace, figure things out with her family, figure things out with Randall, who's not going anywhere. And there's some more twists and turns in store for Miss Alex.
Okay. Now, we spoke earlier about...
And I mean, that really does define what I've seen from Alex so far this season. But just because you're trying to make peace because you're tired of fighting doesn't mean that you still don't have to face all the lies you have yet to bring to the light. And Ian is obviously one of them. So I do feel like when it comes down to it, Alex is an interesting character, but I just wish that she would try to not fight, but piece together her life to make peace, as opposed to just letting things fall out of the sky, if you will. Like, no, fall out of the closet. It's like, it's almost like, you know, your mom telling you to clean your room when you're a kid, and instead of like thoroughly cleaning it, you just throw everything in your room into your closet. Oh, great, my room is clean. But that doesn't mean that all the stuff in the closet is just going to go away. You're eventually going to have to face that giant pile of crap that you just stuffed in the back and hope nobody notices. You can't just sit on your bed and just wish it away. That's kind of like what Alex is doing. All the men she slept with, all the lies she's told between the DNA test being mixed up and lying on this person and that person, that's all on the floor. So when Brad is threatening to leave her life, oh no, baby, I'll take care of it. Throw it in the closet. Room's clean. Life is good. You don't have to get a divorce now. Nah, Eventually, the closet door is going to burst open, and then you're going to have to face that giant pile of crap that you stockpiled for so long. So that's pretty much what Alex needs to do. And it would really, and once again, I feel like in this video, I have not been biased at all. Like, oh, she's my baby, I love her, and I'm not going to be hard on her. No, I really tried to do a great in-depth analysis. So I feel like that would make me like her character even more if she's actually actively trying to make things better. And as of the last episode, I don't see that change happening anytime soon. It's like, you know, oh great, she did the right thing by admitting that she was the one that lied and Dr. Raston had nothing to do with the DNA mix-up, because there wasn't a mix-up. But then as soon as Randall came into the picture, or even no, when the guy that was leading the board meeting mentioned that Mr. Holmes is coming in, that's when she started freaking out. And instead of telling Randall directly that you weren't the father, the doctor told her that, you know, she needed to fess up. Then Larry mentioned, Alex, is there something you need to tell us? And then she said, instead of confidently saying you are not the father, well, I guess this means you're not the father. Alex has a lot of growing to do. Then, you know, the whole Ian thing, denying that. Yeah, this, I hope that in the coming season, we see character growth from Alex. Once again, it is good that you are trying to make peace, but just rolling over on your back, maybe that's the wrong phrase, rolling over on your stomach to just let people walk all over you. Okay, fine, Randall, you can see the baby, but then knowing that isn't the baby, then on top of that, you know, not facing all the lies you told. Like for Ian, you know, when he called you Jennifer, yeah, it's right that you defended yourself by pushing him. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, when he said Jennifer in front of your friends, deny it. But then as soon as you're alone and he tries to make a move on you, okay, not only fight him off, but, you know, just say like, look, whoever that was, you know, that I'm not that person anymore. But at the same time, why would you invite him to your house? But whatever. So I will say this much. If there was anything I hope to see from Alex next season, it is definitely more honesty and character growth. Her parents are gone, so she definitely doesn't have them looming over her head unless, you know, she has nightmares or some crap. Being the best mother she can be for her kids. And obviously things aren't working out with Brad, but just be a better woman. I feel like that's the, not just better woman, but a better person. That's the one thing above all I want to see from Alex in the next season. So hopefully, you know, I get to see that. Hopefully we get to see that. But with that being said, you know, I think this is a pretty cool video. Like I said, there might have been things I've missed. I think I focused more on her relationship with her family, her husband, her lovers, more than her friendships with her friends, like, you know, Natalie, Esperanza, and Kelly, because Marcy, there is no love lost between those two for obvious reasons. But yeah, I feel like Alex is definitely more defined by her family and lovers as opposed to her friends. Not to say it's a bad thing, because Natalie is the one who isn't going to mince words. Esperanza is just like the cheer captain who isn't, you know, hey, you're okay, even though you effed up. And then Kelly, kind of like, you know, Alex, she's in a lot of stuff that she kind of put herself in, so she has to deal with the consequences of that. But damn, it's kind of ironic. Alex had that gun pointed at Randall, then you had Kelly point the gun at Travis, but difference is only one of them shot. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts on who is Alex Montgomery. Where do you think the code names Peppa came from? I think I did a pretty good job on this video. I think I did. But aside from that, last thing I want to mention, because in the beginning of the video I already mentioned the whole subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. So that's enough self-promotion. You know, links, social media are in the description below. And I want to put the names on the screen. Ashley Robinson, Thought Provoking, Chandler Foster, Justin Woyat, Audrey Terry, Emily Carter, Antoine Bean, and Lisa Dempson. You all won prizes for the 75,000 subscriber contest, but still haven't hit me up with your mailing information. If I don't get it from you by Monday, then you are disqualified, and I will either pick other winners or just simply save those prizes for another contest. So between now and Monday, you can email me at jccarden888@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on Instagram. There is a link in the description below. Just DM me your address. Just say, hey, my name is so-and-so on YouTube. I won the contest. Here's my first, last name, and full mailing address, because I want to get this stuff out sometime early next week. I know that Anita Williams sent me her address yesterday, so be sure to look for your prize next week. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 people already gave me their information, aside from Anita, who makes 7. But the first 6 people, I mailed out your gift cards and DVDs last week, so you should be receiving those soon. But let me know your thoughts on Alex. Is there another character you would like me to do a analysis video on? Remember, the Haves and the Have-Nots returns next Tuesday on the 7th. And aside from that, if you could, subscribe. I know I already said it, but hey, might as well do it again, right? And be sure to follow Amanda Clayton on Instagram and Twitter. That's my boo. And yeah, I can say my boo because the video's over. So once again, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. And I hope to see some good comments on this. Well, let me know your thoughts on Alex. Aside from she's a thought, she's a unloyal, grateful. Let's see some real thoughts in here. And who knows, maybe if enough people comment, I might do an Eddie video next. Congratulations on making it to the end of this video. If you like what you just saw, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, or if you have anything you would like to add to the video, make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you want to keep up with me on social media, go to the description box. All of my links for social media are right there. Also, if you feel like you would like to donate to the channel, make sure to click on the link to PayPal. Any amount helps. $1, $5, $20. As a full-time YouTuber, any support from my fans really does mean a lot to me. Finally, make sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you're kept up to date on any new content I post to the channel. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you in the next video.